Good morning, afternoon, evening. Not sure when you're catching this, but hopefully you are. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Scott's Garage HTX. Don't forget the HTX. I was going to do a couple things on today's video. One was to go over a car that I think is fairly interesting. Most people, maybe they wouldn't give a second thought to, but for reasons explained in the video, I think it's worth a second look. Also, you'll notice in that video, it's pretty rough. Something's off. It wasn't but a couple hours after filming this video that I left feeling pretty bad. And yes, I ended up getting the COVID, right? So I've been recuperating ever since from home. Feeling great now, not a big deal, but still isolating. That doesn't mean things haven't been happening. I've just been away from the shop. So what I thought I would do was update you on a couple of things that have been going on behind the scenes. We've done the filming of the repair of the AC unit on the RX-7, but there's still things that have been going on that I haven't really clued anybody in on. So let's take a look at that, quite honestly. So, going outside, of course, there's the FD, right? And we've covered a lot of that, what we did some repairs on. And my F250 is doing some body work right now. It's not doing body work, but somebody's doing some body work on it. And this has been my daily driver. There are some things that I'm going to get for it. I've ordered that are in back order that not something typically I would ever install on a car, but I think will help this car and not kind of needed. So we'll get to that once it's off back order and I get it inside the shop. The Jeep, still whining. Not my part though. The TTA, that's where most of the work has been going on, and we'll get to that in a second. The Camaro, well, you'll notice in one of my videos, the one where we did the toolbox, that the Camaro was in the background, and you can look in that background and see that the Camaro had a gas cap during that video. Later on that day, I moved the car into the parking lot, drove it home at night, and when I got into the house, I noticed I was missing my gas cap. Apparently, somebody needed a 1968 Super Sport gas cap more than I did. So I have a replacement part for that right there. Not a big deal. Anyway, the other thing going on with this car is the front valance. This air dam at the front. I've cracked it. I've cracked it right here. Did it going into my own parking lot, quite honestly. And these are, I don't know, 30 bucks from aftermarket parts groups. And you can actually get them in carbon fiber, but they're over $300. Now, I don't know why I'd buy a carbon fiber air dam, especially, well, they would look cool, that's why I'd buy it. But if I'm doing this to the plastic ones, I sure as heck don't want to do that to a $300 one. So I'm going to stick with the plastic. That's on order, and when it gets in, it's a simple fix. Now, this is where most of the work has been going on behind the scenes. Now, remember, this car's got 5,000 miles on it, and I'm not always that great of a proponent of only putting 5,000 miles on your classic cars. This is 1989, and it's only got 5,000 miles. Things start breaking down when you do that, so I always tell my customers, drive your classic cars. Well, since we've talked on this, I've had to replace the AC compressor right there. Now, when I say I didn't do it. Bobby did it over Tech Auto. And he was doing this the same time I was fixing the FD's AC system, and while I was sick. So it just kind of worked out that way, but I'm glad he was able to get to it. If we think about this car and take a step back, you know, like you say, the 5,000 miles on a car should be perfect. Let's look at everything we've done on this car since its inception or purchase. Well, first of all, we've exchanged all the fluids. Oil filter such. The only fluid or oil I didn't change was the rear diff fluid or oil. Changed the shocks all the way around. Repaired all current vacuum leaks. Basically, there was a vacuum leak in here that was preventing the blow-off valve from operating properly, and when you let off on the gas, it really wasn't properly venting the system. It's got a new Ultima battery right here, and down right below here where the oil filter is an oil sending unit, okay? And that oil sending unit is part of a rollover / cut-off engine protection system. Basically, if the engine is turned off or if it doesn't sense any oil pressure, it is to turn off the fuel pump back there in the fuel tank to prevent fires, explosions, things like that. So it's not operating properly, one or two things are going to happen. One, the fuel pump's not going to come on, or two, it's not going to shut off. And I had a situation where it wasn't shutting off. So we had to replace that, right? We replaced all the bushings around this car, all the way, all four corners. That was kind of a chore, but it got it done. It was something that was really needed to be done. Rebuilt the power steering pump. I think you remember we talked about that over there. It's got the original power steering pump on it. We just ended up rebuilding it. That was good because I don't think they make that power steering pump anymore. As we just talked about, the AC compressor has been replaced. We replaced the headlight motor right here on that headlight. That was not working properly and wouldn't come up.
Come on, little buddy. Try. You can do it. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. Push it up. How can I respect you if you don't respect yourself?
Maybe you could use a little help. It's up to you. Just saying. Nothing wrong with it. Put new tires all the way around, of course. Driving around on those old Gator backs, which I still have, would absolutely just be, well, stupid. Then we did a compression and leak down check on the car. That was one of the first things we did, to quite honestly, make sure we had a good motor. These are some of the things that gets done on these cars. Now, I'm excited about a lot of this stuff because, excuse me, let me fix my camera here, because I just entered this into February 26th Radwood car show in Austin, Texas. I don't get to go to many car shows because I work on Saturdays and that's when all the car shows are. But I really wanted to make this one. You've noticed in some of my other videos, I've mentioned how much I wanted to take this car to Radwood, and that's what I'm going to do. So, hey, if you get a chance, get out there. It's a great show, I hear. I haven't been to it, but I don't know. I can't wait to get out there and have some fun out there and be a part of it. So if you get a chance and you're there, come say hi to me, okay? I'm trying to put this into the royalty division of the Radwood. So that's something you have to submit to, and we'll figure out whether or not they accept it or not. I hope they do. So I got another unique vehicle here in the shop today. A lot of people probably wouldn't look at this twice, but for myself, I actually think this is going to be a future classic, and I'll tell you why in a minute or two. Right here is a 2008 Pontiac Solstice GPX. It retailed for $28,135,000 in its day. Pontiac started the model in 2002 with a 2.4 liter, 173 horsepower convertible edition. In 2007, they added the 2.0 turbo with 260 horsepower, 280 foot-pounds of torque, GPX available in a 5-speed, limited slip, 3.373 rear end, and fully independent suspension. 4-wheel disc brakes, and this car weighs right around 3,000 pounds. Pontiac made 8,822 GPXs in 2008. They made 88 special editions to celebrate their SCCA T2 Championship in 2007. It was called the SCCA T2 Champion Edition. In 2009, they added a Targa Top version to it, which was considered pretty rare because they only made 1,266 of these models. You could get it in a hardtop or a Targa Top. Now, in 2010, GM was in bankruptcy. It shuttered the doors to Hummer, Saturn, and Pontiac. The final nail in his coffin for this Pontiac Solstice was when they sold the Wilmington, Delaware plant to Fisker. Why do I think this is going to be a future classic? Well, for one, perfect examples of these cars are selling close to their MSRP right now. 2008 GXP, perfect condition, right around $27,000. The T2 Championship Edition is right about $29,000. But what's really escalating in price are those Targa tops. Right now, you find a 2009 Targa top, perfect condition, you're looking at $60,000 or more. Excellent conditions are actually going for right around $35,000. And that was a car that retailed at $30,000 14 years ago. I really think that what's going to happen is the coupes escalating in price are going to bring up the value of the convertibles. Now, Haggerty called this about 2014. They actually put the GXP Targa top on their future classics list, and I don't think they are far off. Now, this particular example is in really good condition, quite honestly. It's got maybe one or two blemishes on the paint. It's got aftermarket wheels on it that really show well on it. The paint, again, is bright. Can't really find too much wrong with that at all. The top is in great condition. It's got 88,000 miles on it. Interior in this car, really good condition. Seats are nice, firm. Maybe one or two marks on the seat, that's about it. It's got 88,000 miles on it, right? And it's been very well maintained. This engine is very clean. We're in the process of chasing down any oil leaks that might be typical at 88,000 miles on a vehicle. This, again, has 260 horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque. Independent results on this put it at 5.6 in the 60, 4.2 in the quarter mile at 102 miles an hour. This is direct injected back in 2007. Right? Now, that's right along the times that BMW introduced their direct injection. The boot on this, well, it's pretty limited, quite honestly. It's probably 5 cubic feet, and when you put the top down, it's even a little bit more cramped. But one of the true challenges is this is a clamshell opening in the back.